I know how frustrating it is when a security camera looks amazing on the website, but the footage you get at night is a blurry mess. That's why I spent a weekend actually wiring up a full system and testing it in my own driveway. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. When you start looking at home security kits, the biggest hesitation is always, will this actually work for my house? You're staring at a glossy listing with promises of 4K clarity, motion alerts, and a sleek app, yet most people end up with a system that either takes forever to set up or drops the connection when it matters most. The Lorex V-Series 8-channel NVR with 7 bullet cameras tries to solve those pain points, so I dug into the hardware and the new app to see if it lives up to the hype. First off, the hardware feels like it was built for a straightforward install. The NVR sits on a shelf, plugs into your router, and the 7 bullet cameras come with power over Ethernet adapters built into the back. That means you only need one Ethernet cable per camera data and power travel together. In my test house, I ran the cables from the attic to the front porch, the driveway, the side gate, and a couple of interior points. The whole wiring job took me about an hour and a half, which is a lot faster than the days-long process I've heard from people using mixed-brand setups that require separate power injectors. The new Lorex Connect app is where the real-world experience really shows. After you scan the QR code on the NVR, the cameras appear in the app within a minute. The interface is clean, with a home screen that shows a live grid of each camera and a bottom navigation bar for playback, alerts, and settings. I was relieved that there was no endless wizard asking you to name each camera or set up zones before you could even see a live feed. The menu is shallow enough that a beginner can start watching footage in minutes, yet it still hides advanced options like bitrate tweaking or custom motion zones under an advanced toggle, so hobbyists and semi-pro users can dig deeper without cluttering the main view. Now, let's talk about what you actually see. The 4K resolution claim isn't just marketing fluff. The footage is genuinely crisp when you zoom in on a moving car or a person walking across the driveway. At 30 frames per second, the video is smooth enough to follow a bike rider without stuttering. The autofocus works well for static scenes, locking onto the subject as soon as motion is detected. In low-light conditions, the bullet cameras switch to infrared LEDs and the image stays surprisingly clean. I tested a nighttime scenario with only street lights and a distant porch lamp. Nothing looked washed out, and faces were still recognizable enough to read a license plate from about 8 feet away. The downside? The infrared illumination has a limited range, roughly 10 to 12 feet. So if you need coverage of a long driveway, you'll want to position a camera closer to the area you care about or consider adding an extra unit. One practical strength of this system is the local storage on the NVR. The 8-channel unit comes with a 2 terabytes hard drive pre-installed, which gives you about 2 weeks of continuous 4K recording at the default 4 megabits per second per channel. That means you're not dependent on a cloud subscription to keep footage. Everything stays on your property. When the motion sensor on a camera is triggered, the app pushes an instant alert to your phone, and you can tap the notification to jump straight to the clip. In my testing, the alerts were reliable, no false alarms from passing cars, but they did catch a stray cat that wandered across the yard, which is a good indicator that the motion sensitivity can be tuned without too much noise. On the flip side, there are a couple of practical weaknesses you should know before you click Add to Cart. The NVR's menu for setting up motion zones is a bit clunky. You have to draw rectangles on a static thumbnail rather than on a live feed, which can be confusing if you're trying to exclude a tree that sways in the wind. Also, the system doesn't have battery back storage,